cause I'm very nice. I practice that every night to get on this herd mic. You know I'm alert, right? You know that it ain't nothing to serve, right? And I be killing tracks to the earth like my birthright. I'm solid like sound money and you fools sound.
This is going to be a big review of NWA Extra Powerrr and NWA Powerrr. So we got 2 episodes to go through. The episode of NWA Powerrr was a little late, like a full day late. We'll talk about that in a moment. But the NWA Extra Powerrr episode, which aired August the 6th, 2021, I think it aired over the weekend. So this was smack dab in the middle of their Champion Series. And I don't think Champion Series was mentioned in this episode. But the things that spun out of this episode was not mentioned, I don't believe, in the Champion Series finals. Anyway, I don't know how they did this, but this was actually very good. The Extra Powerrr episode was very good. The first match was Odinson of The End versus Nick Aldis in a non-title match, which Nick Aldis won by submission. But this match was actually pretty entertaining. Odinson seems to have, a little bit of a future. Him and Perro are actually not bad as a team. Strictly Business, of course, interfering outside the ring. Perro, of course, beat on both of them. Beat up Latimer and Adonis. They were all tossed out. Of course, didn't do Odinson any good. He still lost to Nick Aldis, the heavyweight champion of the world. Pretty good match. I enjoyed it. Second match, Jordan Clearwater versus Tim Storm. Match starts with a handshake, ends with a handshake. Tim Storm wins the match with the perfect storm, otherwise known as the Boss Man Slam. Jordan Clearwater is a good prospect. They should be doing more with him instead of just jobbing him out. But they did a good job here because they had Tim Storm, who is a former world champion, pretty much put the kid over. Respected him before the match, respected him after the match. Said, hey, you got a good thing going here. Tim Storm is built like a Ninja Turtle. I don't know what's up. I think his neck might have been broken. It's something about these guys who have like these broken necks and then they get a little older. They start looking like Donatello and shit by the body. And it's Kurt Angle, it happened to him too, where it just got it's like he got a shell on his shoulders, And it's really weird. He got that look, that slight hunch to it. It's real bizarre. But putting Tim Storm over here made sense, even though, Tim Storm is pretty old. But Clearwater's got a future. He needs to develop a personality. That is a huge problem with young wrestlers today. I see it in AEW. I see it in WWE. I see a lot of athletic young guys, handsome guys with good shapes, good bodies. They're working out. They're staying in shape. They just have zero freaking personality. Zero. I could go through a list of guys like Jordan Clearwater that actually have something. But when you ask who the fuck they are, there's no answer. They just they have nothing. Even if they have a nickname. He has a nickname. They call him the Golden Boy. And I think that's because he has a golden pants leg. I think that's part of his finish, if I remember correctly. He does like a running kick or something like that with his with the golden leg. But how does that translate to a personality or a character of any kind? It doesn't. And that's why he's in the position he's in. There's so many young wrestlers that end up doing that, making that mistake. They keep thinking like, okay, I can get the gimmick. But you have to have a personality. What are you going to talk about? And hopefully they do a good job of, developing this guy. Because being able to talk is very important. And in this next segment, man, oh man, can we see how important it is to be able to talk. May Valentine, Camille, and Tom Latimer, they had a sit down, a heart-to-heart segment. This was awful. For starters, May Valentine is about as interesting as a dirt pie. She is just so uninteresting. She sounds so dry. I know I probably talk about her every episode, but she is not good. She's not fun. She's not interesting. Camille is also not interesting. Big Country is just not. She doesn't exude charisma. She doesn't. She might have a little bit of charisma, but not really. She's mostly just irritable. That's kind of like it. Like Camille's character is basically, she talks and then somebody does or says something and she gets real irritable about it. But Tom Latimer is great. He has an almost Scott Steiner like doesn't care what comes out of his mouth mentality because he's big and he's jacked, and so he's kind of like he's just gonna say whatever you want in that accent, and it's actually pretty funny. So even if he's not talking about anything, I can just listen to him talk because it's hilarious. So what was this whole segment about? Well, Camille was very proud of her title and talked about how it fits on her small waist. Tom Latimer was kissing up her arm like Pepe Le Pew. Said that Kratos was a bad person and he takes a cheap way out, and that Aaron Stevens is a stooge. I love when people call each other stooges. That's great. So he was pretty upset about getting jobbed out of the tag team title match that he really wanted. And then May Valentine asked him about marriage. Of course, they talking about getting married, the two of them. Then Tom Latimer went from the marriage. Well, Camille was talking about the marriage and whether she was going to wear white or not, which kind of upset Camille because she was like, "Why wouldn't I wear white? Why wouldn't I be wearing white? Why wouldn't I be doing that?" You know, her bumpkin accent. And Latimer, she asked him, May asked him if Billy Corgan was going to be invited to the wedding. To which Tom Latimer went into a spiel about Billy Corgan being a conspiracy theorist who is full of shit. It says that Billy Corgan has put together a plot against Strictly Business. And then May Valentine got called a stooge by when she was trying to defend Corgan. So Tom Latimer said she was a stooge too. He was the best thing about this train wreck. This thing was awful. But my God, Tom Latimer was great. He's hilarious, man. These women don't need to be talking, but Latimer is great. Them calling Billy Corgan a conspiracy theorist, like it's them. They are projecting, because they're clearly the conspiracy theorists. They think everybody's against them, when in reality, people are just trying to straighten up all the cheating that they're doing. So we went from that segment to another segment with men and women arguing. This one was the Austin Idol Velvet Sky segment. Because these teams are in the finals, they were, hey, put over the tournament, talk about everything. And Austin Idol was basically just sitting there sexually harassing Velvet Sky. Oh, this was great. This was awesome too, because Austin Idol is hilariously flirty. And he just said, he grabbed her wrist and started making pulse race. He was being a dirty old man. This was great. And Velvet Sky was basically saying that, hey, if we win the tournament, if we win, never say never. I'm retired, but never say never on the title match or whatever. Whether she would actually accept the title match. She was like, oh, never say never. And Austin Idol was busting her chops about it. And she was like, I didn't say I was going to do it. I didn't say I was going to do it. You implied it. So this was funny. It was stupid, but it was funny. Then we get to the main event. Pope was getting ready to defend the television title in his last, in lucky number 7, for the 7 for 7. And he talked about, Pope got a dusty. Pope going dusty. He going to do it. Okay, so he's like, it's my destiny to be the world's heavyweight champion. So why Tyrus? Why am I wrestling Tyrus? I requested this match to be no time limit. Because I want to end this thing here once and for all. So then he goes in the ring and loses. Promptly loses to Tyrus. He loses the television championship. The Pope versus Tyrus World Television Championship. Match was not good. Tyrus is old and fat. He's like, he's Tyrus the Terrible. He's absolutely like a brontosaurus with a human heart. It's not good. It's like watching, Fred Flintstone or something like that wrestling match. It's just not good, dog. The whole match was basically Pope with Tyrus on the ground, him stomping Tyrus's legs because Tyrus can't do anything. There was a ref bump. Pope had the visual pin on Tyrus, and Austin Idol came into the ring. Then, of course, he distracted him. He turned around. Tyrus hit a heart punch, and literally Pope was down for 3 minutes from this heart punch, and he got pinned. After the match, Tyrus, got on the mic and said that it was never a question. It was never a doubt. He's already the most exciting and already on every television in the world and every television channel in the world. So, of course, he's going to be the television champion. Okay, so the decision to take the title off Pope I saw that coming, if we're being honest. They had pretty much been telling this story. This is the third match between him and Tyrus. I think the first one was a time limit draw, and I think Tyrus won the second. So this one made sense. Hopefully Pope is going forward. And I think that's what leads us to the Champion Series final from August 11th, 2021. So we went through this whole thing again, that this was an absolute disaster, for the record. Well, this was supposed to come out on the 10th, but Fight TV had some technical problems, so it didn't come out until the 11th. And then, even then, it was almost 20 minutes late. So this show, man, it was snake bit from the jump. So we learned from the show that the matches are out of the hands of the captains. The only thing they could do is pick one person from their team. They don't get to pick who the opponents are. They get to pick one person. So the matches were set up: Trevor Murdoch versus Tom Latimer, Jax Dane versus Matthew Mims, and Sal Rinauro versus Colby Carino. Those are the three matches. Now, there would be more matches, but Kenzie Page was injured. Kratos is also injured. The Masked Man was not there for this team. And I couldn't tell you who was on whose team, but I know that Austin Idol and Camille is one team, and Pope and Velvet Sky is the other. And so they said the winners will be, the prize is 7 title shots. So one for each person that's participating. And they can be redeemed at any time. So I don't know if that's a Money in the Bank type of situation or you have to give prior notice. I don't know. The first match was Trevor Murdoch versus Tom Latimer. A pretty solid match. Tom Latimer took the loss to Trevor Murdoch by a top rope bulldog. Aldis then chastised Trevor Murdoch after the match, telling him that, because he was on commentary, saying that Trevor Murdoch will never be world champion because some people are meant to be at the top, other people are meant to be at the bottom. So they are continuing the story of Trevor Murdoch and Nick Aldis. The second match was Jax Dane versus Matthew Mims. This was, of course, a underdog story, as Mims is a jabroni and Jax Dane is a former world champion. That should tell you how far the NWA title has slipped. That somebody by the name of, checks notes, Jax Dane was the world champion at one point. And Mims defeated him because Jax Dane basically just didn't want to cover him. He was just basically playing around too much. And it was played up as being a big win for Mims and a huge thing that he beat a former world champion. So this was pretty meh. The match itself wasn't much to write home about. But maybe they're going to do something different with Mims. Who knows? But, hey. The next segment was Chris Adonis and Nick Aldis doing a promo. The promo was all about the Champion Series and Nick Aldis' team being eliminated already. So Nick Aldis gets on the promo and says that it's not the Champion Series, this is a conspiracy series. And that Strictly Business were already the champions. They were already a championship team. Then he says that his team is eliminated because of the J-Bro named Jeremiah Plunkett. And says that, when the interviewer says, well, Jeremiah Plunkett was the alternate for your team, Nick Aldis hilariously says, yes, he believes he lives in an alternate reality. If he thinks that he could possibly compete in the NWA, which was hilarious. And so then he pitched it to Chris Adonis, who basically says that nobody knows who Plunkett is and that they started at the same time, and Plunkett spends his time hanging out with the ring crew and eating donuts. So Plunkett comes out there and said that you two guys are the most successful guys in the company, and yet you're both miserable. And yeah, I like pizza and donuts, and it's talking about how he knows somebody from Nick Aldis's past that's willing to be a partner with him if they want to get in the ring. Then we find out it's Sean Daivari. Daivari and Nick Aldis were together in TNA. I believe Daivari and Chris Masters were on the same roster in WWE. So it ended up being a tag team match. Sean Daivari and Jeremiah Plunkett versus Nick Aldis and Chris Adonis. And of course, there's a J Brown in the match. Well, there's two J Browns in this match because Daivari ain't much better. Plunkett tapped out to the cloverleaf. Meanwhile, outside the ring, Adonis had Daivari in the master lock. There was absolutely no chance of these guys winning. They just wanted to show, basically, Adonis and Aldis off and eat up some time. So all of this was fine. All this is hilarious. Right along with Latimer, with calling Billy Corgan a conspiracy theorist, because clearly they're the ones who think it's a conspiracy against them. The main event, Sal Rinauro versus Colby Corino. This match was entirely too long. This match was lengthy as shit. This was a battle of the alternates, and there was no time limit, and there must be a winner. This match also fed off of their storyline that began when Colby Corino debuted, and him saying that he should be the world television champion because his dad was the world heavyweight champion, Steve Corino. And he has the lineage and the legacy to be the champion of, and that everybody else is beneath him and everything. So that's kind of what started with the whole thing between the two of them. And it kind of came to a head here. And Colby Corino actually wins the match, which was weird because I would think Sal Rinauro would kind of prove himself to Colby Corino by beating him. But in any event, Colby Corino wins. Therefore, Pope and Velvet win the Champion Series. So Pope lost his television title, but won the Champion Series. So that means he is very likely to get a championship match against Nick Aldis. Now, whether Trevor Murdoch is on this team or not, I can't remember. I honestly don't remember if he's on this team or not. I think he is. So I think Trevor Murdoch is also on this team too. So that's going to be interesting. And Velvet Sky is one of the captains. And I think the girl is Genocide, or is it Kenzie Page? It's one of the two. So it ought to be very interesting going forward. I'm glad the goddamn Champion Series is over because it sucked ass. Now, there will apparently be no Power until after Empower and NWA 73. So apparently there will, I guess, be no more episodes of NWA Powerrr until after the pay-per-views. They need to do better than that. They got to start doing better than that. Because this is 3 weeks away. So there's going to be no Powerrr for 3 weeks, I don't think. I wonder what they're going to do, But in any event, the extra Powerrr was very good. I enjoyed the hell out of that. The Champion Series, I'm just glad it's over. But Murdoch and Latimer was, a decent match, even though I don't like Trevor Murdoch. But I enjoyed the promos from Aldis and Adonis, and I enjoyed the promos from Tom Latimer on the Extra Powerrr episode. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, donate to the channel. Thank you guys for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
Skin tone, so why attach yourself and piggyback the wealth you didn't earn or lack yourself? I'm telling you to own up to your own success and failures. It's a reason why these sleazy